like to present team.
Is a kaleidoscope, a tapestry of shifting ideas, vibrant perspectives, and infinite possibilities. Like the turning of a kaleidoscope, every moment shapes a new reality, blending fragments of thought, imagination, and experience. Through history, these patterns have evolved, voices rising, challenges faced, and ideas reshaped. Each fragment reflects the diversity of human experience, creating the foundation for change. Today, the kaleidoscope turns again. Modern realities emerge, alive with color and possibility, connecting the past with the present and shaping visions of tomorrow. In these patterns, we find not just differences, but connections. Reminders that our individual pieces come together to create something greater, a collective vision of a brighter, shared future. Join us at TEDx Podar ORT International School Youth as we celebrate these kaleidoscope realities and uncover the stories, ideas, and dreams that shape our world.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Must be some stars aligning tonight to have the ex-Spirit House captain, ex-co-head boy, sorry, and Anshul present.
To be fair, it had to happen at least once.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first TEDx Podar ORT International School Youth. It is an honor to have us present this morning, alongside the talented speakers who've come from all around the nation to share a piece of their knowledge, bringing global ideas to a local stage. Rishid has something that he'd like to say.
Yeah, I believe the juxtaposition of disparate ideologies within this symposium has fostered a milieu of intellectual vitality, where the confluence of diverse perspectives catalyzes profound dialogues on the intricacies of existence and the multifaceted nature of contemporary society. It is through this synthesis of ideas that today's discourse promises to be truly transformative.
Well, we sure hope the speeches today are in chat GPT like what Rishid just said.
Oh heaven, certainly not like Rishid's EE.
Neil.
Anyways, now that we can continue, we'd like to bring along our first speaker for the first ever TEDx Portis Youth.
Time's most inspiring woman, West India 2021, co-founder of Malkin's View, author and wealth mindset coach. Please put your hands together for Miss Meghana Malkan.
How many of you would love to be successful? Please raise your hand. Fantastic. And how many of you would love to be uber successful? Raise your hand. Fantastic. Thank you guys. A very good morning. My name is Meghnavi Malkan and I help people make money from stock markets by working on their mindset. I help them change their money blueprint from scarcity thinking to abundant thinking. So this is what I do. And over the years, over the past more than 14 years of helping people, I have discovered that someone who wants to be successful, not just at stock markets, making money from trading and investing, but at anything that they do, they need a lot of ingredients, right? Success needs a lot of ingredients. Yes or no? Yes? So what do you need to be successful? Let me tell you some things that these are common things that most successful people have, and you'd agree with me. Can I have the PowerPoint, please? And these things are, I mean, just to name a few, you need confidence, you need, is this working? want me to change this? Yes, please. All right. You need confidence, yes. You need action, you need purpose, you need discipline, focus, strategy, discipline, goal setting, clarity, time management, purpose. You need all these things. But you know what makes someone really successful? When you take all of these ingredients and put it into a bucket, and you do what? You have no clue how it works unless and until there are a select few ingredients which you need to put in the right order and the right proportion, and that is exactly what makes people successful. If you study all the high performers and people who have built multi-million-dollar corporations on this planet successfully, including Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, all of them, I want to share with you 5 things that these people have had in their life in the right order and in the right proportion that have made them successful. Would you be keen to know that, guys? Yes or no? Yes? Awesome. Can we have the next slide, please? Yes. All right. So this is the pyramid, which I call the success pyramid, which has them all in the right order. So to begin with, let me share. Can you move it on? The star that you see, that's where you want to reach. This is the star which we all aim for. Right from the time we start having our dream. Right from the time we start to understand that, yes, I want to achieve something. How do you get started to reach the star? The first base, and that is your foundation, is your why. Jim Rohn, the famous person development author and the coach, the quintessential person development guru, you know what he said? I love this, what he used to say, is once your why is clear, your how gets easier. Which means once you know why you do, what you do, how doesn't matter. The failures will not matter. Everybody knows Disneyland, all of us, you have heard or been there. You know, Disneyland was created by Walt Disney, and he was rejected when he went with this idea to bankers and financiers that I want to create this park and I need this money. He was rejected more than 300 times. That's the story. But what we don't know is what kept him going all the time was his why. It was his why, it was his intention to have a fun, safe, and, you know, clean place, friendly place where adults and children could have fun together. That was his why. And it was this why that he went from one bank to the other, irrespective of being rejected 300 times and more, and he stood by his proposition because he believed in his why. And if you go to it, if you think about all these successful people, I'm talking to you at this age because it is so important in whatever you do, what you do, be it given your exams or appear for competitive courses, university applications, all of this. Once you know why you're doing what you're doing, how doesn't matter, you will find a way. So that's how this whole thing works. And the second ingredient, once you have your, the second thing, once you have your why sorted is, what do you believe? Guys, I'm a corporate lawyer turned into a stock trader because I got married to a stock trader. It was my belief that I am weak with numbers. I used to believe that it's tough to make money. You need to work hard to make money. Unless and until I worked on those beliefs, I couldn't make money from stock markets. And now, leave alone making money, I help people make money from stock markets. How did this magic happen? It wasn't magic by any means. It was just a shift in what I started to believe. And that made all the difference. Do you know, all of you must be knowing, if you watch the latest news, Gukesh Domaraju, how many of you know that he is the new world chess champion? Yes? All of us. Have you seen his recent reel that's going over on social media, which says, when he was 12 years old, and he's 18 now, when he was 12, he said, I want to become a world champion. That's what he believed, that he is going to become a world champion, and he did. 6 years down the line, he did. It is your beliefs. So, you know, there's a famous quote that says, and this is so true, that whenever you achieve something in the physical world, it's first created here. What you believe, you can do, and then you can do it. That's what beliefs do for you. If you believe you're weak in maths, you will be weak in maths. If you believe you're going to be successful, you will be successful. If you believe you're the first millionaire, the first transition person in a family, you will be. That's what beliefs do. So this is time, you know, when you say, okay, I want to do something, the first thing is, what do I believe? You know, it's said, you guys must have studied this. Our mind is made up of two things. It's made up of two components broadly. It has multiple things inside. It's a complicated machine. But broadly, you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. All of us know this, right? So all these beliefs that I'm talking about, they are layered deep, deep into your subconscious mind. They're sleeping. And every interaction that you're having every single day, verbal conditioning, by listening, by hearing, by reading, all of it is getting your beliefs into your subconscious mind. So you need to, I didn't know I had this belief that I'm weak at maths, so I cannot trade. But I realized it when I kept failing consistently at trading. So that is one of the most successful ingredients. Once you have these two in place, you go to the next one, which is your habits. Your habits make who you are. Do you think poor people are getting poor because of government taxes? Because of how they're being treated? Poor people are poor because they have poor habits. Rich people are rich and they keep getting richer because they have rich habits. It is your habits that will put you into two brackets. Are you going to get richer? Are you going to get poorer? What rich people do is once they earn some money, they invest first and then they spend. Poor people spend first on iPhones, etc., and then they invest whatever is left. Right? Do we agree to this? Yes or no? Rich people talk in terms of solutions. Poor people talk in terms of problems. Rich people are resourceful. How do I make it happen? Poor people, they cry about resources. Oh God, it's my luck. I'm just born in a poor family. This is what separates the rich and poor. So it is your habit that defines who you're going to be. And you know the impact of creating a small habit over a period of time? The small little behavior that you have right now, that behavior starts with an intention. Your intention will put into your behavior into action, which turns into a habit. And when that habit is practiced over and over and over again, every single day, it eventually becomes your second nature. And finally, just becomes who you are. Investing is just who you are. Reading is just who you are. It's inseparable. That's what habits do to you, my friends. So now you know that once your why is in place, once you have the right belief system, which is empowering belief, all that you know is the next ingredient is to build the right habits, habits that move you forward. And once you have that in place, we go on to the next one, which is your skills, your competence. What do you want to be skilled at? You know, most people, they reach the level of skills, they hit skills the first thing. I want to learn this. You know, most people come to our institute. From the last 15 years we're running this institute. They come to us, show me the strategy to make money. That's all they ask, without understanding why they want to do what they want to do, without knowing what are their belief systems, without getting into the habit part. They just want to know the skill part. And what happens is they fail. They're not able to make money because they're not working on the foundation. Can you build a successful building without building the top, without building the basic foundation? What will happen to the building if the foundation is weak? The building collapses. So for the time being, they feel, oh, I've got the strategy. Yes, I'm going to make all the money. But eventually, when the markets are going haywire, they fall down. But people who begin right from the foundation, that's where they succeed. And this is the power of habits. Everybody knows Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all times. He was a huge basketball player, the most successful one that we have ever seen. He played 15 NBA seasons and he won 6 of them. You know what his secret was? He used to practice his shot, the same shot, 1,000 times a day. 1,000 times. No one could beat him. No one. That's the power of habit. That is what kept him going. So what is it that you want to master at? And what skill can you keep building so that it turns into your second nature? That's the skill. So, and you know, guys, in psychology, there's a loop called the competence and the confidence loop. You know, what does it mean? When you work on your skills, when you build your competence, you raise your confidence. Don't you feel, I mean, are you competent? Are you confident to tie your shoelaces? Very simply put. Why? Because you're competent to do that, right? So the higher your competence goes, the higher your confidence goes, and it works as a loop, which means the more confident you feel at a skill, the more you want to be competent at it. You want to go ahead in your competence. So it's a loop. So find out where is your confidence lacking, build competence in that area. Find out where can I get more competence so that I build my confidence. You feel you're a shy person, you can't talk to people, go and build your competence, learn how to speak. You feel that you're not good at basketball, go and learn how to play that. That's what it does. And once you have all of this, once you have the entire pyramid in place, that's when you hit the star with your action. So massive action calls for massive success. And how do you get massive action? Is by working on all of these. Imagine a person knowing why he is doing what he is doing. And the same person knows his beliefs are empowering. The same person knows that his habits are in place. And he is building up his skills. Nobody can shake that person, becomes unshakable. You know, someone just asked me, Meghna, how does someone become successful? Do I have to copy what he's doing so that even I get successful? And I always tell them, you don't have to copy what the person is doing. Copy what the person is thinking. How is he thinking? Copy his mind. Do not copy his body language. Just copy what he's thinking, how he's strategizing, and there where you are. And I want to end up by saying that we all want to be successful, guys. But it's one thing that you always remember for the rest of your life is, be successful. Yes, there's nothing wrong in being successful. But work on that success not for the money that you'll make when you become successful. No, that's not the purpose. You work on being successful because of the person that you become in the process. That is where the fun lies. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
We don't have lines from here on out.
Well, we didn't know how the speeches were going to go.
Guys, this isn't yesterday.
Group discussion.
Thank you so much for that insightful and inspiring talk. Your message on shifting perspectives and embracing a habit mindset is exactly what we need to hear in today's world.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that our limitations are often just illusions. And with the right mindset, we can turn every challenge into an opportunity.
And we can all definitely take away some valuable tools to cultivate resilience and clarity in our own lives. Thank you once again for sharing such a powerful message with us today.
Yes. Thank you for reminding us that the future is full of possibilities when we dare to dream big and think different.
Looks like ChatGPT saved you in the end, didn't it?
Moving on to our next speaker, a technologist having worked with one of the Fortune 500 companies, an author of multiple published books. He is a multiple award-winning innovator, including recognition from GitHub and Angel Hack. Please put your hands together for Ganesh Katta.
Two minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Cool? Like this? Cool. It's not going back? Yeah, perfect, thanks. Crazy. Crazy. They called me crazy when I said I wanted to be an artist who understands the existence and life, the beauty, of course. Crazy. They called me crazy when I said I wanted to be a technologist who has a desire to improve and innovate technology. Crazy. They called me crazy when I said I wanted to read philosophy and practice oration or being an orator. They called me crazy. Oh, 3 crazies. Crazy, right? So, I'm Ganesh Katta. Today, I'm standing before you. I'm not just Ganesh Katta. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. I'm an author. I'm an innovator or a technologist, as you call. I'm an orator. I'm an Homo sapien. Okay. Homo sapien. Today I'm standing before you because in the years of my experience, I was able to do a lot of roles and responsibilities. roles and responsibilities. Over the years, I have realized it's not just one role. I have been an artist manager, I have been a developer, I have led teams into building amazing technologies which can impact societies. There are many roles that I've been. I've been an author, I've been an mentor. So, when they said today's team, I was thinking, over the past 5 years, what have I done really? And how was I able to do or take up all the roles and responsibilities? The real question was, how? Then I realized it was pretty simple. There were a lot of realities that I had to deal with. There were a lot of mindsets that I had to deal with, and not just deal with. I had to have a lot of mindsets to complete that. And then I had to have a lot of thoughts. When I say thoughts, it's not just my thoughts. Taking thoughts of all the people where I can create impact. So, I've been able to do that. I've taken 6 to 7 roles in the last 5 years. I've inspired over 300 people. Oh, you can go with 1,000, but that's fine. So, if I was able to do that, the real question is, are you guys able to do that too? And the answer is yes, even you guys can do that too. So, how can you do that? It's pretty simple. Over the years, I have learned a lot of principles, starting from psychology to philosophy and technology and, of course, generative AI that is going right now. So, when I asked the question how, as the universe works with the laws of mathematics, physics, and chemistry, the way our mind works with neurons, I have realized there was one basic principle that I have used consciously, unconsciously, or of course, I've trained myself subconsciously. And it was the most notorious one and the most underrated, which is never used to its highest potential. You know what it is? The most basic and the simplest one. You're gonna laugh after I show you that. Decision making. Damn, is the most basic thing. I understand that. So, when I say decision making, what is the importance of it? Trust me, it is the foundation for every action you will be taking, every choices you will be doing. So, I'll give you a more deeper dive example of how it works. And by the way, it's my own formula, so yeah. So, when I say decision making, it starts off with situational awareness, which is directly influencing your judgment. And when I say judgment, it's not just judgment, it's going to influence your choices. And those choices directly lead to the consequences that you want. And when I say consequences, people think it's either you win or you lose. But to be honest, it's not win or lose. It's you win or else you learn. There's no middle ground. Trust me, there's no middle ground. So, looking at the steps, decision making is pretty simple, but there's awareness, there's judgment, there are choices, there's consequence, and there is either you win or you lose. So, how are you going to do that? After studying with all the examples and the experiences that I've gathered over the years, I came up with a pretty simple formula. That is, decision making is equals to logic plus limits multiplied by instinct plus innovation. I'm sorry, I'm a computer science engineer and also artist, so I have to integrate software and formulas, mathematics, and all the things that I can so that everyone can understand something better. So, decision making is logic plus limits multiplied by instinct plus innovation. Let's go much deeper into it and understand. So, the first one is logic. When I say logic, it's rational decision making, which is based on structure and fact-based. When I say structure and facts-based, what are included in that exactly? Let me give you the pointers easily. It's gathering data, it's going to patterns, it's the history. I know, when you say AI, people are going to say, yes, it's gathering data, it's gathering patterns, it's history. But being more precise, we work in the same way. When I say gathering data, it's our skills, it's our mindset. When I say patterns, it's our habits and the consistency that we have. When I say history, what are you yesterday and what are you tomorrow and what are you going to be tomorrow? So yeah. And then you have the limits. When I say limits, it's going to be bounded reality or rationality, you can say. And when I say you need to acknowledge your limits, because you cannot run away from it but you can acknowledge it and aspire and inspire it to embrace the limits that you have. So, what are the constraints or the limits that usually every individual has? Time, information, resources. And when I say resources, it could be your books, it could be the knowledge, it could be the skill set that you have. So, time, information, and resources. These two are added and then multiplied with the instinct, which is intuitive decision making, of course, which relies on gut feeling. And when people say gut feeling, it's not some magical term, oh, I have the gut feeling and I know it's right. No, that does not work that way, because gut feeling is drawn on experience. Let's say one of the softwares that we handle, of course, impacts over thousands of people. If I say my gut feeling says that I like this button, so thousands of people are going to like that. Is it okay if I launch it in Fortune 500 companies or anywhere? No, it does not work that. I need to go to rigorous testing, and see a lot of things. For that, I need to have experience. And how does experience come? Solving case studies, looking at people, understanding what exactly is happening and what exactly are the challenges that other people have faced and how you can stop that and make it much better. So this will be added with the final, that is innovation. When I say innovation, they say it's creative decision making. And when I say creative decision making, trust me, once you're familiar with logic, limits, and instinct, trust me, innovation is not far ahead. Innovation is not far ahead. And innovation becomes familiar, and there are no special skills required again. And now, just to sum it up a little bit, when I say making a decision, there are 4 steps, or the 4 that you have seen. That is gathering data or patterns, working within constraints. And these constraints are directly proportional to the consequences or the impact. When I say constraints, people always believe, as I did mention, these are the limitations, but you can embrace that and make it much better. And then drawn on experience, which of course is your gut feeling and instinct. And then think outside the box for a better outcome, which means you'll be more precise once you have data, once you have your instinct, once you have your constraints clear. So this is what decision making is. So now the next question is, okay, I have done the decision making. Let me show you a basic application that I have done many years ago. Let's say someone is trying to start a startup or agency or a business. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. And how does it work? So first you go with the logic, which is analyze the market, and then trends, and then customers' needs. And then you have the limits, where you set the budget, you look at the team, do you have the right set of budget to do that? And then instinct, you trust your gut with case studies. You look at people, what they have done, and what are the challenges or the mistakes that they have done, and how you can overcome that with your skills and the instinct. And then innovation. Here's an interesting thing. Over the years, when I've heard about innovation, people say there are a lot of nuances in the innovation. There are a lot of things that you need to do. But being more precise, I've realized innovation has 2 things. One, either you advance the available features, that is upgrade. And number 2 of the innovation is pretty simple. You create something that has never existed. You can take this example maybe in technology, maybe in books, maybe in philosophy, maybe in science, social, a number of subjects, whatever it is going to be pretty simple. 2 things. Either you are going to advance or upgrade the current features that something has, or you're going to create something that has never existed. So, it's loading. When I say, okay, I have given you the whole formula, decision making, you multiply it with that, and all the nuances. So, if you're going to follow that, do you think you'll be successful? Are we sure we're going to do that? Of course, the formula seemed pretty simple. I've been doing really good. I'm working with this client, and I'm doing with that, working with the US, Europe, whatever the call you call it. But do you think it works out well? No, it does not work really well in that way. Because although you have your gut feelings, you have the case studies, the actions always changes. The reality is always dynamic. So if you're doing something here, something happens in China or in US, and it's going to influence you, and it has its own nuances. For example, because being an author, I did find this stats of few authors and also one of the people, uh, the tennis player, Roger Federer. How many of you know him? Oh, we got tennis fans here. That's great. So, I think you have seen his commencement speech at Dartmouth, where he said nearly half of the games that he played, he have lost it, which is nearly 45%, and he just won 55%. And he never won 100%, to be more precise. Which means winning 55%, he has over 100 plus single tennis championship, and then he also has 20 Grand Slam, which you are already aware. Imagine, 55% is not always consistent. You're going to have breaks, you're going to have time where it's not going to work, you're going to have time when it's going to work. And then the other interesting, being an author, I should always acknowledge them. William Golding. You know how many times he was rejected by the publication house? How many of you know William Golding? Okay, what about Lord of the Flies, which was adapted as movies? Yeah, William Golding is the author, and he was rejected 21 times by the publication house. Imagine what happened if he gave up in the 5th or 6th time or 20th time. Will there be 21 or 22, or we would have these movies? No. So what I'm trying to say is, first, if you got your formula right, you have your skill set to do things. Because once you are ready for the opportunity can struck anytime, and you'll be ready. So if there's anything I can leave you with, it's going to my favorite quote, and that's what I have written. So yeah, if you aspire to inspire 1 billion people, you must outwork 1 million. Learn from 100 and draw inspiration from 1. That is discipline. You have discipline, you have habits, you have consistency, The outcome is going to be in your hand, although it can take maybe few minutes here and there, but it's going to be in your hand. So thank you. I'm Ganesh Katta. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Katta, for that truly inspiring talk. Your insights on balancing technical expertise with creativity and experience are truly valuable.
Absolutely. Your journey shows how merging these two can lead to groundbreaking innovations.
Before we move on to some more poorly delivered jokes, we'd like to invite our first speaker, Ms. Meghna Malkan, for an award presentation ceremony. Mr. Kaiser, could you please accompany her?
Hello? Yeah, perfect.
Now we have Mr. Katta for the award presentation ceremony. Moving on, now from Namma Nalagonda.
Wrong language, Anshul. Get your act together.
Yeah, Anshul, not all of the South is the same.
Neil. Now, welcoming an MBBS candidate, 3 national award and a global award winner, founder of Vivya Care Foundation, all the way from my homeland of Telangana. Please put your hands together for Mr. Surender Jatot.
Hello everyone, I am Surender, a final year medical student. Imagine a world where every individual has a health story. It does not have a record, but it's an active thread woven into seamless. Let's see an disease it anticipates to prevent a seamless journey. Picture an image where technology, innovation and compassion strives to decrease a disease, to prevent a disease. I would like to say there is a lack of accessible medical history. It's going to make a major impact, that is patients' misdiagnosis, mistreatments and inappropriate management. So I would like to say there is a transformational vision that I am going to begin to realize it today. So what is that? So how we can make our medical history can be accessible everywhere in all the hospitals across the country, across the globe. So I recalled one scenario there in my hospital that happened, made me realize how important the accessible history. A patient came to hospital with multiple surgeries, but due to lack of medical history, it's very hard for us to diagnose the disease and to further move forward. So knowing past histories, knowing previous complaints, knowing family history, it's really make a greater impact. It's really a heartbreaking and frustrating challenge for us to move forward. It seems like a small issue, but it's a barrier that is going to help us to give a good and sufficient amount of health tomorrow. And I envision that these health records are going to give an good output. One more thing, I saw a patient that he undergone multiple complications in abdomen. His abdomen became battlefield and he is not able to bear that pain. Then due to lack of accessible history, sometimes patient death can occur. It's not a small thing that we are going to see. It's a life and a death. And one more thing that I would like to conclude, that a major system that we have to evolve in the healthcare system is a transformational vision is health card. What is health card? So how it helps us? Health cards will all your past histories, all your family histories, all your treatments, all your personalized case, each and everything will be noted on the health card. It will help and ensure your future treatments. It will help all people who are in ill and who needs a good healthcare tomorrow. So, you people heard about telecommunication, a virtual consultation between doctor and patient. It really making a greater impact. During COVID-19 time, it exploded at wide range. This telecommunication also will help by aligning with this health card system. How it helpful? When you approach a doctor, when you visit an hospital, when you approach in virtual, it mandatory that your previous history and your previous treatments and your previous lab reports, each and everything aligned to give a proper diagnosis. So let's see this. For a surgeon to know all your past operations, give a good output to manage complications. For a gynecologist, knowing all your obstetric history to give a proper treatment during your childbirth. For a cardiologist, knowing all your heart conditions, know all your previous heart operations will give a greater and good impact to treat patients. So, previous history is very valuable. In today's scenario that we can see that robotics, AI and major researchable kits, and each and everything is evolving. But one thing is not going to evolve. It's not evolved. That I envision this health card system will give a greater and good impact to society. The example that I shown my previously is that a patient came with multiple complications. See, when a patient came with multiple complications and he had past surgeries, he has past traumas, but we don't know. Directly if we treat, directly if we do any procedure, it might leads to misdiagnosis, mistreatment, patient death. We don't want to occur in that way. So to access it, previous history and previous data is going to a greater impact that will help. So yeah, now we have the health card system. How can we make it more secure? How can our health card data will be more secure? Some people can misuse it. Some people can manipulate it. So I would like to introduce the blockchain system, a tamper-proof decentralization that will store and share the information. It will value your privacy, your safety measures. Each and everything will be aligned with decentralization, blockchain system, powered by Aadhaar card healthcare linked system. So, Aadhaar card linked healthcare system will help. It's going to evolve and it will give a great transition. It's a widespread across the India and across the globe. That I envision the kaleidoscope of realities that will bridge a gap of health. It will embrace a transition in healthcare system. Yeah, let me tell you one thing, a scenario that we have robotics in hospitals. We have the good technologies. We have researchable kits. We have new, each and everything, every data is available in hospitals. It's going to evolve. It's going to give a greater impact. But due to lack of medical history, will give a greater and greater bad results. If you don't have it, how can we treat a patient with very effective way? Is it right or wrong? How it feels with the lack of accessible medical history, a patient death. If you have a proper medical history, by aligning this health card system will give a greater transformation to the healthcare sector. Yeah, to live a good life, we need healthcare. That I would like to conclude, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jatot. We hope your trip from the far south has been worth it.
It is truly inspiring to see the success you've had at this age.
We're extremely grateful to have had you here, just like all our speakers.
The well's running dry here on jokes. Oh, I have one in the chamber. It reads Eco News. Sorry, Miss Monica.
I agree. I can't think of any more ways to make this script interesting. Neil, you can go take a break.
We need a break too, guys. We need a break.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning, guys.
Excuse me, do you want to do the hosting today?
Yeah, do you?
Why not? Please put your hands together for our parent speaker and mental health practitioner with over 18 years of experience and founding partner at Carpe Diem Edge Psych Consultancy, Ms. Vasundhara Kaul.
But happier to be here because Kaleidoscope brings back childhood memories. Okay, so when I heard that we were talking about Kaleidoscope realities, I went back into childhood when I was presented a kaleidoscope for the first time ever. And like curious that I was, I wanted to know what was inside the kaleidoscope more than the picture it actually gave me. So for those of you who've actually had the experience of using a kaleidoscope and twisting it around and want the mic?
Yeah, they won't use it.
So you want me to repeat? Yeah, that's fine. All right. Start it again. All right. So you may hear a different part of the story. Okay. Yeah. So good morning, everyone. Very happy to be here, more happy to be here as a parent, but also because of the theme Kaleidoscope Realities, because it brings back many, many childhood memories. When I was presented a kaleidoscope for the first time ever, I was curious to know more about what was inside the kaleidoscope, more than the pictures it's actually painted for me. So for those of you who have a little bit of experience and have actually had the opportunity of twisting the lens of a kaleidoscope, you will know that those fragments of glass that are inside, those colorful fragments of glass, actually make patterns which are limitless and multiple times over. And more that you twist it around, you will ensure that you will have a new pattern each time. But Vasundhara was not satisfied with the patterns that it formed, and therefore Vasundhara wanted to know what was inside. And I went bang, and the kaleidoscope was shattered. Of course, I thought that I was going to have many more answers, but what happened as a result of which that I had a few glass pieces, I had some parts of the kaleidoscope, and no painting of a picture at all. Life pretty much is like that. Over the years, I've realized that if we were all clones of each other, and if we saw life exactly in the same way, and we saw only shades of gray in this universe, which means that you don't really have a colorful picture, which means there's not too much diversity in this world, we would all speak the same language, XXX, YYY, whatever it might be. We would all eat the same food, ABC, some curry, some gravy, some whatever. Life wouldn't be so fun, right? The fact that we can eat sushi today, the fact that we can eat Indian, Chinese, even in Australia today, the fact that we can be the size 0 or the size 46 today, it really tells us that we are a bunch of very diverse individuals which make up the picture of this world. However, very often, and it happened to me as well, many, many years ago, and it continues to happen even today, where I am sometimes the different soul in the world, right? So I'm fatter than a lot of people, right? And because I'm fatter than a lot of people, I'm not the dancer in the room, okay? And secret, I actually dance very well. I'm a trained Kathak dancer, okay? So, so beyond that, right? Beyond being the different person in the room, what you really bring to the room is what counts. But what stops us from bringing our ideas to the room? What stops us from really ensuring that we are one of the individuals who are accepted in the room are so many biases that shatter that kaleidoscope, that come in the way of making a colorful picture and turning it gray, right? What are those biases? You're going to say, okay, is there anyone in this room who's saying I'm not biased? You're lying if you put up your hand. Okay? If you're saying that you're not biased, it's scientifically impossible. Because the way you learn everything in this world is by being biased. Because you're questioning, right? You're saying, oh, this is different. I don't know how to cook this curry. I don't know how to talk like this. I don't know how to walk like this. I don't know how to wear this sari. This is different, right? So you do have a sense of bias no matter what is happening around you in this world. However, when that bias starts impacting us, and when that bias leads to stereotypes, is what leads us to create environments around us, whether it's in our schools, whether it is at home, whether it is anywhere in society. It creates environments which are treating ourselves to become clones of each other, training ourselves to kind of align ourselves all the time to what everyone else wants us to be, except what we might want to be for ourselves. So as a mental health practitioner and as a DI trainer, very often these days I'm in training programs where we are talking about ensuring that there's diversity acceptance at the workplace, ensuring that we are trying to create equitable environments, and ensuring that we have inclusive practices in workplace settings.
For the longest time, I believed that if our worlds are not inclusive enough, if we do not embrace diversity in every nook and corner of our lives, workplaces will but do tick-mark exercises of hiring basis diversity and not individuals who will thrive in an equitable environment. So therefore, how do you ensure that you actually create an inclusive work environment? How do you ensure that every environment that you actually create is inclusive, is going to accept you, me, everyone for who they are, and ensure that each of us have a place in this world for who we really are? There are only 3 things that I usually talk about when I come to that question ever so often these days. It's awareness. Whenever you encounter someone who's different from you, ask questions. Ask silly questions if you have to, but get to know them a little bit more. It could be a person with a disability, person using a wheelchair. It could be a person who has a different gender identity. It could be a person who expresses themselves differently. It could be anyone who's different from you because they are different from you. They are wired differently. They work differently. They process things differently. Ask questions. Make yourself aware. And you know, I got a cue there, ChatGPT. In my classrooms, I always say, go ahead, do ChatGPT, do Gemini, do Copilot, do whatever you want to. But after that, give me an answer that you will believe in. So in my classrooms, I don't stop you from using the internet and the AI in the world. However, I encourage you to ensure that you're aware of what your thinking is, and to be able to bring that into the environment. And you should do that whether you are in a working place, whether you are wherever. Awareness is the first thing. Once you're aware that, okay, this person is different, this person is behaving differently for X, Y, Z reasons, this person comes with this background, this person believes in something, has a different value system, has a different story to success, has a different process in which they do things, what do you do next? Empathy and allyship, right? So when you do empathy, when you Google empathy, what's the first answer that comes? Empathy is stepping into someone's shoes. And how do you do that? If I were to give you these high heels, would you be able to walk? Not many of you would. If I wore your sneakers, would I be able to fit in? On an average, and for some of you who know, our family has a history of very high shoe sizes, okay? So I have a size 7, most of you with smaller or larger sizes are not going to fit in, right? So no matter what you do to step into another person's shoes, you are only going to be falling short if you are looking at that person from your own lens. Stepping into another person's shoes means dropping your lens of bias, stepping in objectively and saying, okay, let me see what your need is, and then after that, I'm going to possibly be your cheerleader, possibly be the person who shouts for you in the room, or possibly be just standing at the back when you don't need my help. Ever so often, when we encounter people with disabilities or who want to use a wheelchair, we're like, oh my God, I'm so inspired by you. And why? Right? Are we inspired because the person is using a wheelchair, or are we inspired because the person has actually done something that means good to the world? And so you could be inspirational as well. And the most important after that is a cue that I'm going to take from an earlier speaker as well, and that's something that I always believe in, that after you've done your awareness, after you've done your empathy and allyship, you can't sit there. You do need to take action. You do need to work, okay? And I'm going to end with a little story, because whenever we are looking at saying, okay, this is going to go on forever, biases are going to be there forever, we can't do anything about it. So the youngsters today are telling us, oh, you're old school. We are saying you're too new school, okay? Where do the twins meet? They are never going to meet if we are going to remain on our sides of the riverbank, right? So essentially, where do you kind of take that first step? How do you make it happen? A little story is what I'll end with. Many years ago, I read this, I think, in the Reader's Digest. For some of you, currently, the Reader's Digest is out of publication, so you may not get to read it. But I'm sure as part of ChatGPT, as part of Google, this story exists in some form or the other. So the way I read it was, there was this child on a sea bank with a lot of starfish being brought down to the beach. So with those millions of starfish around on the beach, he or she, I'm not sure of the gender identity, picked up each starfish and put the starfish back into the water and kept doing this for hours at a time, hours at a time. A very judgmental individual, again, I will not say the person is an adult because that's the assumption, right? It must be an adult who's making that judgment. So a very judgmental individual came by and said, I'm going to help you put this starfish, but what good will it be? There are millions of people to help out there. There are millions of starfishes out there. Not most of them are going to survive because we'll never get to the end. Any guesses for what the child told the individual? He turned around and says, it makes a difference to this one. It makes a difference to the one I can put back. And that's where we all need to start. You don't need to be the Prime Minister of the country to make a change in the world. You just need to ensure that the two people sitting next to you just now are the two people who feel that they are part of your world and they are accepted for who they are. Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a very good day.
Thank you, Ms. Kaul. Mental health is an important topic of discussion. In today's fast-paced world, ensuring your mental health is stable is paramount.
Especially with Ms. DPC around.
Ahan, have you finished your extended essay yet?
Almost done, ma'am.
Now, leaving behind delays, unlike Ahan, but not our focused mindset.
Coming to the stage, someone we can resonate with. Bandra boy, a fellow IB graduate, having pursued his education at UC Irvine and Boston University. Please put your hands together for Aman Ladakh.
Hello. Hi everybody. Aman over here. How's everyone doing? Is everyone awake still or? Yes, no? Yes, little bit? Okay, awesome, awesome. I actually have one, if you can just put that one slide, which I had requested. Okay, perfect. So I want to start off with something a little bit different. Do you guys remember this when it was big on social media, this dress? Yes? Yes? Can I get a yes, please? Okay, awesome. What color do you guys see? If anyone can just give me a quick answer. Yes. Black and blue. Does someone see something different than black and blue? Blue and gold. Anything else? Yes. Okay, very good. Yes. Purple and brown. Amazing. Yes. Yellow. Perfect. Okay. So, looking at this dress, it's as simple as understanding that everyone's perspective in this room is so different. Everyone has a different vision. Everyone uses their brain a little bit differently to understand what is going on around us. And I chose this one picture for today's talk, which I want to do, because I feel it connects very well with the whole topic that we are going to focus on today, which is the kaleidoscope and the reality behind it. And along with that, I want to speak about the positivity, the mindset that we have to apply in this current generation. I'm almost close to your guys' age. I'm 23 right now, so I'm not that old. I'm old, not that old, close to you guys' age. I was in your guys' shoes a few years ago, and I know how it feels to be in a situation like this. So kind of going into what I want to talk about today is that kaleidoscope realities is such a beautiful topic, in my opinion. It aligns so well with life. It aligns so well with the brain. The mindset that we have in our generation today, everyone comes from different backgrounds, everyone has a different thought process. We all have something unique about us. And something unique about us that we have is that we all apply our mindset differently, which is very, very key. So, like a kaleidoscope, when you turn the kaleidoscope, there's a variety of different endless picture colors and different types of shapes and everything that you see from that. Just like that is, if you change your mindset from that negativity to a little bit of positivity, I promise you one thing, that you will be able to be a very successful person, you will be able to be a very happy person, and you will look at life with a more brighter perspective. Kind of going back into a story, since I'm very close to your guys' age, I also did my IBDP not too long ago. Now I'm doing my master's, but during my IBDP, it was a very interesting journey because I grew up in America and I moved to India in 8th standard, and living in the US, as some of you guys may know, the education system is a little behind compared to India. India is a little more advanced. Everyone is a little bit smarter sometimes in India, which is a great thing. We learn a lot over here. So that shift from the US to India was very difficult for me. I was not ready for it at all. I was very scared, very nervous, and I had a lot of doubt filled inside of me. What will I do to accomplish and be successful in a country like India? Nothing that I don't know anything about this place at all. So 8th grade, 9th grade went by. I was just managing to hang in there by a thread. But a lot of the people around me started creating a little bit of a negative perspective for me that you're not successful, you don't have it in you to go to college, you need to really think about what you want to do in life, because at the rate that you're going at, you're not going to be able to reach a successful stage in your life. So I was very let down, I was very upset, and I used to come home every day from school and I used to just sit in my room and think that what am I supposed to do? What do I do with my life if I'm not being able to reach a successful stage, because everyone around me is telling me that I'm not going to be successful. And the person that I was before was, I would listen to everyone around me, never to myself. So that whole mindset, the negativity around me, created a lot of self-doubt. And that is what really, really hurt me a lot for a few years, I would say, when I was in India. The self-doubt every night, just scrolling through my Instagram reels and looking at Snapchats and looking at TikToks when it was not banned in India. I would just, use that as a distraction to kind of take away the negativity from my life. One day, I was like, you know what? I can't keep on doing this anymore. I need to, do something with my life. I need something to change. But what was the most important thing that had to change? My mindset. I had to stop being so negative. I had to let the self-doubt stop taking the best of me, making me at my worst point in my life. I had to take it all away from me. Sitting in my room one night, I was like, you know what? I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm going to change my mindset, make it very, very positive, and I will show the world that I can do it. I can be successful also, even if I have a rough patch in my life. And I did it. I went on. I did my 11th and 12th in IB. It was amazing. I went on to go to UC Irvine for 4 years. It was amazing. I'm pursuing my master's in Boston University now. It's going great. And it's all because of that positive mindset. And I'm here today not to bore you guys or tell you guys about my life. This is not some documentary, or this is not something to show off and stuff. But I want you guys to understand that each and every one of you in this room has your own success story. You guys will all have your success story. You guys are all still at that age where you guys are trying to find yourself. You guys are trying to understand the world around you. But I promise you one thing, that just maintaining a positive mindset, each and every one of you, I promise you it will help you so, so much. I think it's one of the most important life lessons I've learned in my life. And this is actually my first talk that I'm doing, and I was a little nervous. I'm still a little nervous because never done anything like this. But again, that positive mindset that, you know what, it's all going to be okay. I'll be able to do it, and it'll go by well. And it's going great. I hope you guys are not getting bored. You guys are understanding a little bit, taking something away from this. Awesome, thank you. So, back to the whole thing, what I was trying to get to is that, like kaleidoscopes, no two kaleidoscopes are alike. If you look inside, the patterns and everything are very different. That's what I want to tell you guys today over here, that nobody in this room is alike. Everyone is very unique and different in their own ways. So if someone is telling you something, if someone is trying to, put you down, don't listen to them. Don't let that get the best of you. You are your own person. You will create your own success story. Nobody in this world will do it for you. And I promise you that. I've come across a lot of people in India, in the US, in London, all the great places I've been to. And all the people I've met have always told me one thing, that you are the only one who will write your story. And I think that's the most important thing to remember, guys, that at this age, you guys have so much of life ahead of you. You guys are going to accomplish so many great things. But please, do not let any self-doubt get the best of you. Don't let any negative thoughts impact you at all. Just stay positive, because you guys can do it. You guys will do it. You guys will accomplish the best things. You guys are already working so hard over here to do whatever you guys can to make your parents proud, to make the people around you proud. But the most important thing, make yourself proud, because you guys are doing this for yourself, nobody else. And I promise you that. And I also wanted to say one more thing. The kaleidoscope, going back to the whole theme of it, the kaleidoscope realities and everything like that. It's important to remember that the mindset that we implement at a younger age, or if we choose to get that positive mindset, there's so many beautiful colors out there that we see in the kaleidoscope. Just like that, if you put that positive mindset and just keep it going day by day, don't let anything get the best of you, you will see that beautiful rainbow in front of you. You will see those beautiful colors. And all of you guys must be thinking that this guy is just going on talking about positivity. It's not that easy. We have our exams, we have all these problems going on in our life, we have this problem, we have that problem. I understand. I go through problems every single day of my life. It's not easy being young. It's so tough. We have to scroll through all the Instagram reels for 3 hours and watch Snapchats and the TikToks and YouTube videos and stuff like that. Little cringe that was, yeah, sorry. But my point is that what I'm saying is that I know it's not easy. I know that we all have our own problems that we go through, and sometimes it does get the best of us. But I promise you again that if you guys just choose to work through it, keep a positive mindset with that, whatever the problems, it can be anything. Just keep a positive mindset and remember that everything will pass by. Everything has a phase in life. If you look at any successful person, I know there was a few examples given from the previous talks, like Michael Jordan, for example. He was dropped off his high school basketball team, and no one wanted to play with him. None of the coaches wanted to coach him, and he went on to become the best basketball player in the world. Or some may say differently, but he is one of the greatest basketball players in the world. Same like the Walt Disney example. He was rejected by many people before he was able to create Disney as a whole company, which is one of the biggest companies in the world today. Just like that, these phases do come in everybody's life. Anybody around you, if you go ask your parents, you ask anybody in your family, your friends, they'll all tell you the same thing, that we have had these situations in life, but we have come out of it. And I promise you, the one reason that has helped them come out of it is because of the positive mindset that they've been able to keep within themselves. I just want to end off with one small thing. I watch a lot of YouTube and stuff like that, and a lot of influencers. I love watching podcasts and all these great talks and stuff like that. And there's one quote that really sticks with me, is be you, you're one of a kind. So I just want everyone to just remember that, be you, you're one of a kind. Everyone is so unique. Keep that that unique mindset to yourself. Like I said before, no two kaleidoscopes are alike. Each kaleidoscope has a different pattern inside of them. So just be true to yourself. Be positive, guys. Everything will go well. I wish you guys all the best for everything and all the time you guys have ahead of you. You guys will kill it. I promise you. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys so successful one day. And thank you guys so much for this amazing platform.
Thank you for your insightful speech, updated to our times, Mr. Ladakh.
New Union territory, by the way.
Oh, the one occupied by China?
No, that's Kashmir.
Not the occasion, guys.
You're right. Neil?
No, not again.
You see, it's not about that. Neil's here for a different reason.
You see, the next speaker is Neil's inspiring older sister.
Neil, come here.
Now introducing our very own,
absent physically, mind you, for the entirety of 11th,
the honorary 4th member of the Big Three, our pride and protege,
Secretary General to the recent IIMUN, making waves in her short stint here.
Welcoming to the stage,
Nayantara Roy.
Oh, it's awfully cold out here. I've been shivering, but it's okay. Hi everybody, I am Nayantara Roy. You may know me by seeing me in the hallways, probably loitering around somewhere, but I promise you that I study. I'd like for you to keep your listening ears on and thinking caps on. I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. It's kind of silly. Anyways, I'd like to start with a question. What if I told you that everything you knew about human civilization was wrong? The iconic hunter, spear in hand, conquering the wilderness. It's an image that has been celebrated for centuries. But what if our greatest invention wasn't a weapon at all? What if survival instead of domination was about something far more ordinary, yet far more powerful? A bag. Yeah, you heard me. I'm talking about a simple, humble container. But what lies within this bag might just be the key to explaining everything. Our history, our future, and even how we might be able to save the world. History, or as conventional wisdom goes, is a story of violent, merciless competition. It's like when the school Wi-Fi goes down and suddenly we cease to function as a community. Classes come to a halt because, oh my God, I have to pull out my textbook from my bag. We have come to embrace this idea that the succession of one thing defeating another literally is history. It's whether it's between species, political leaders, or even conflicting ideologies. In our inherited notion of human history, our caveman, and he is always a man, comes home after a hard day at work on the plains with a deer slung over his shoulder. His adoring cave wife and cave kid stuck into the prize over dinner as he recounts the tale of his courage and heroism. Just as significant as the prize, this hard-earned carcass of meat, is the story, the drama. Storytelling was the original Netflix binge-watching, if you think about it. And many stories told together in a chronological order are what we call history. Perhaps that's why in French, the word for story and history are identical, l'histoire. In this muddle of history and heroism, we've got theories of great men and a truly incomprehensible number of World War II documentaries. And it goes some way to explain our current and insufficient appraisal of climate change. Capitalism, or as Karl Marx wrote about in 1844, supposedly alienates us from four things: from ourselves, from each other, from the products of our labor, and from nature. We develop this sort of adversarial relationship with each of them. Nature, according to us, is something that can and must be tamed. Capricious rivers diverted, genomes edited, and crude oil transformed into fuel. This unpredictability of nature should, in theory, disrupt this thinking. The catastrophic repercussions of human activity on melting glaciers and collapsing ecosystems shows us that nature was never truly mastered after all. Yet, the same story persists. Humans will win. We must. We always win. Not long ago, I saw a poster on the street, presumably put up by some junior college, that said something along the lines of, "Don't worry, we're on it." It being the solution to climate change. A techno-optimistic fever dream of geoengineering solutions, like pumping clouds of sulfur dioxide into our air, or sending a mirror the size of Greenland into space. They border the dystopian. Conferences might have replaced our campfires, but the principle remains the same. It's the story, the legend that really matters. Storytelling is a way of configuring and even reconfiguring worlds. Narratives can be brought into existence. The carrier bag theory is an essay written by Ursula Le Guin in 1964. It disputes the idea that the spear was the original human tool and promotes that it was rather a receptacle. Le Guin tells the story of the carrier bag, the sling, the shell, the gourd. This empty vessel helped humans carry more than a hand could, and therefore helped gather food for later. It's like when early humans needed backpacks, and we also as well for our bags, because we carry books in them, and a lot of emotional baggage, but let's not get into that. Le Guin argues that the spear coming before the carrier bag simply does not make sense, because about 65 to 80% of what humans ate back then was gathered. It was only in extreme conditions like the Arctic where meat was the staple food. Not only is her carrier bag theory plausible, but it also does meaningful ideological work, shifting humanity's foundations from a narrative of dominance to one of gathering, holding, and sharing. It's like, and I hate to say this, I'm often soppy and sentimental, but it really reminds me of a comforting group hug. But in all honesty, it isn't really like that. It's the carrier bag can hold things, sure, but it's often messy and complicated. It's like when you're rummaging through your bag to find a pen in the middle of class, but you find everything but the pen. You find loose worksheets and snack wrappers and broken pencils and dairy milk wrappers. I don't know why. And when you do find the pen, it doesn't work. More than this, Le Guin's carrier bag theory is more than just a story for early humans. It is also a method of storytelling in itself, meaning it's a method of history. And unlike the spear, whose linear trajectory follows a set target, and unlike the linear way we have come to think of time and history, Le Guin's carrier bag is just a big jumbled mess of stuff. It allowed her to explore all kinds of political eventualities, and it made space for complexity and contradiction, for difference and for simultaneity. This, I think, is a pretty radical way of viewing the world, because it diverts from the idea of history being a long line of victories. The only one problem with the carrier bag theory is that it isn't at first glance very exciting. More than the meandering narrative, it is a story that has no heroes. There are, instead, multiple different protagonists that have equal importance to the plot. What we don't realize is most meaningful social change is a result of collective action. And while we're not very good at recounting it, it is the truth. And what we try to aim with this carrier bag theory is collective action. I mean, who wants to sit and watch a movie about a 4-hour-long meeting between company stakeholders? I wouldn't be very interested. We can't beat climate change, nor is nature our adversary. If the planet could be considered a container for holding everything alive, plants, animals, humans are all held together, then to attempt domination becomes a self-defeating act. In a carrier bag theory, by letting ourselves become part of the killer story, we risk getting finished along with it. In conclusion, I'd like to say, in the end, the choice is ours. We can continue to wield the spear, chasing victory at any cost, or we can carry the carrier bag, picking up what we require and handling it with care. We can continue to choose stories that divide, or we can choose stories that connect. In a climate change story, there are going to be no winners. But if we learn to tell it differently, more of us can just survive. I know which story I'd like to tell. What about you? Thank you.
You have made the big three proud, Nayantara. We did not see that coming. Let's have another round of applause for Nayantara, everybody.
Your out-of-the-box topic has left us all gobsmacked.
I'm hungry. What time is it? I think we're getting close to lunch.
Yes, and we're running out of jokes to say as well. We had to make a reference to food.
Is anyone hungry?
This is becoming way too similar to what we did on annual day.
Tragic.
This event's going to be a day longer if we delve into the mistakes you two have made.
Without wasting too much time on insignificant details, let us put our hands together to welcome the former top 12 contestant on MasterChef India, an exceptional culinary artist, entrepreneur and nutritionist, Ms. Trisha Shah.
Hello everyone. How are you all today? Which button? But it has not started, right? Yes. Okay. Are you all ready for the food journey? Are you all hungry? Okay. I love colors, okay? So everything on my presentation would be colors, and today the theme was my favorite, the kaleidoscope. Okay, so I think let's play with colors, flavors, and some spices. Are you all ready? I don't hear you. Are you all ready? Yes? Let's go. So I decided one thing today, that I'm not going to start eating. I'm not going to eat at all. Is that possible? Okay, I am going to eat. But I don't want to eat, flavorless food, colorless food, because whenever I see a plate, I see a journey. I see textures, I see colors, I see some culture coming across every plate, right? Do you all do that too? When you look at your food, what do you think? Yes, it is a culture which is coming through. When I'm having a curd rice, I know it's from South India. When I'm having a pizza, I feel it's from Italy, isn't it? Yes? So let's dive in. Today I'm going to take you to a different cultures through food. Yeah? Great. Okay, so this was my plate when the theme came up, kaleidoscope. Every plate which we look at, it's constantly changing. Every vegetable, every fruit, every plate has a different color. It has a different changing, vibrant environment, correct? When you go to a different restaurant, you see a different plate. How does this plate look like to you? Is it color and vibrant enough, like a kaleidoscope? Yes, it has different textures, it has different plates. This is what we are going to talk about today. Today in this journey, I'm going to take you through the past of our food history, especially spices, okay? The present, what we are, consuming today with food and health, and also the future, okay? So, are we ready to dig in? Are we ready to dig in? Okay. A little bit about myself, okay? I was always a foodie. As a young child, I had only one channel on my television, which was Zee TV. And every Sunday, I used to wait at 12 o'clock for Sanjeev Kapoor show. I don't know if you all know, but there was only one cooking show. There was no Instagram, there was no YouTube, there was nothing. There was only one cooking show, which was a Sanjeev Kapoor show, 12 o'clock on Sunday, and I used to wait to watch it. And also my favorite, Nigella Lawson. These were the only two people I used to watch. Then I eventually started experimenting with food, learning from my grandmother and from my mother. And yeah, one fine day, somebody told me, why don't you go to MasterChef? I was not trained. I applied for it. I went to MasterChef, went up to top 12, started my catering, became a food consultant, became a nutritionist, became a baker, became a food psychologist, a food scientist, and wrote books, recipe books, so everything food, okay? I'm always inspired by the journey which I want to get across to you all, okay? So let's dig in. I'm not going to bore you with too many details, okay? But yeah, what was the past? In the past, how did the food work? Especially spices. Do you all recognize this? Do you all know that in the past, there was no currency, right? We've all learned of barter system, yes? Yes, we did. And spices were the most premium thing, okay, when it came to globalization and barter system, okay? They used to exchange spices for currency, as currency, black pepper, cardamom, turmeric from India. Yes, we've all learned this, right? This is all history. Have we all learned it? Yes. So these are all the marketplaces. Slowly, the spices started traveling to different, realized the value of silk. They started moving westwards towards Middle East and Europe, okay? And they realized that yes, silk was a symbol of wealth and prosperity. They sold it for very high prices, okay? Same was the spice route, okay? They started trading the maize, the cardamom. India was famous for pepper and turmeric, okay? The pepper was considered to be like a king of spices, and they were really traded. There was cinnamon from Sri Lanka and saffron from Persia, and so on and so forth, okay? This was actually the stepping stone to globalization, to global trading, okay? Yes? And slowly we started associating all these spices with different plates, you know, like saffron with biryani, you know, there is black pepper with rasam, and many old dishes. And with all these spices is traveling across the world, it also took all the different dishes across the world. So people started exchanging cultures, okay? They started trying new food, mixing two foods. That was like the beginning of trade, okay? Beginning of exchange of cultures, okay? Are you all with me? Yes? And that's how we started globalization as such, okay? And then we slowly came down to the present. This is where we are living. I can see some nice, beautiful. So by the way, I've absolutely used everything AI to generate what I had in my mind, okay? These are all the pictures which I have created on the AI, okay? Not taken it from the internet. Okay, so let's dig into the present. Okay, so now again, what are the dishes which we associate today? Like if I say pizza, you think of Italy, right? If I talk about say pad thai, noodles, I associate with Thailand. If I say biryani, I associate with India and Persia, right? If I say kebabs, then yes, I associate with Turkey, right? Or say croissants, how do we croissant from France, Fosse, right? Right, from Fosse. So yeah, this is the present. And obviously, how can I forget sushis from Japan? Yeah, so we are living in the present. We associate some dishes with some countries, and now we are well traveled. We, like Mr. Rahman is from America, from the burger land, you know. So yes, but we get burgers in India. We get Indo-Chinese. So many other. So basically, now what we are transitioning to is mixing of cultures in the present world, right? So now we are mixing the two cultures. Like just the other day, I had Korean barbecue tacos. Korean barbecue tacos. She's hungry. Yeah, tacos from Mexico and Korean barbecue from Korea. I also tried making matcha tiramisu. Matcha from Japan and tiramisu from Fosse. Yes. And I also tried kimchi quesadillas. Yeah. So these now what we are doing is we are going cross culture with food. See how food is progressing, right? Even food is progressing. So yes, now we are seeing blends of different countries. We are seeing blends of different cultures, okay, and different people from different cultures are cooking together, and that's why these fusion foods are happening. That is why now we are in a stage of fusion food, fusion cuisine, right? Let's progress further. Food is also progressing very fast. Okay, also there is this psychology of food through colors. See, I'm focusing on this because our theme is kaleidoscope, okay? So, when I look at some food with a particular color, I associate that food with that particular color. Like if the food is red, in my mind, I feel that it might be a spicy food, right? Or and it basically appeals me. I like to have spicy food, or it could be Chinese food or something like that. When I see something green on my plate, right? I think it is healthy. I always feel green associated with healthy food, right? If I see something blue on my plate, you know, it actually suppresses your appetite. Blue color. We never see blue on our plate, yeah? But it also brings that calmness on your plate, like a blue pea rice, which we've recently started getting in restaurants. But apart from that, we generally don't get blue food because it's not very appetizing, right? If I see something white food means I feel it might be tasteless, boring, yeah? But also it depicts simplicity. It must be simple, flavorful food, right? But if I see rainbow on my plate, kaleidoscope on my plate, I feel it's like a wholesome meal. It must be a blend of so many nutrients. So yes, also colors play on our mind when we eat food. Did we ever realize this? Did we all realize this? Yeah? I think now today when you see your plate, you'll realize how food plays with our psychology. Let's move further. So, this is our present. We don't like messy plates, blob of food on our plate. We like nicely presented, beautiful plate with molecular gastronomy, different colors, different textures, not with too much quantity, you know. It has to be, there has to be colors on the plate. It has to be our plate needs to be an art. When I went to MasterChef, before we started the show, they trained us for a week of how do we plate our food. It's if you go to the show, the food is not plated as a sabji, roti, dal, chawal. That what we eat at home. It's never that way. It's always something like this, and we were trained to plate our food because what they told us was that your food is being seen on the camera through everybody's television. They are not going to taste your food. They are going to imagine your food with their eyes first, right? They are not going to taste your food. They are going to see your food. So your food has to look appealing. Forget the taste, right? Taste obviously matters because the judges will taste on the show. But it has to look good. So I think today when you go back home, tell your mom, Mama, give me a plate. And I want to have a nice, beautiful presentation on the plate. And also, one more thing what we were taught was, have a vertical. Like on your plate, your food should be vertical, not flat. Okay, because when you look at the plate like this, you know, they do like this. You know, have you seen, who all have seen MasterChef? All of you, yeah? They look at the plate like this, okay? Because they need elevation, height in your food. So that's how, you know, you basically, I can do a different session on how to plate your food. Yeah, so we can, yeah. But does this sound interesting till now? How we are progressing with food? Yes, so this is the present. Has anybody tried molecular gastronomy? No? Okay, so I think you will in the future, because now we are going to the future. Okay, let's go to the future. Next slide, please. So what is the future? We have already started getting these dehydrated colors. Now nobody uses the artificial colors and chemicals. Okay, rather we have these dehydrators. Okay, they dehydrate beetroot and make that beautiful pink, reddish pink color. We have chili powder, we have spinach powder, we have moringa powder and spirulina powder. They are not only for colors. They have a nutrition profile, very beautiful nutrition profile, and they contribute to your health. Okay, so you see blueberries over there, you see different, you see carrots over here. So obviously different colors. You just take a spoon of beetroot powder, mix it early in the morning, because we are so busy nowadays. We don't have time to, boil a beetroot and consume it, and it's so boring. I just mix one spoon of beetroot powder in water, finish, and I get going for my day, right? This is the future. This is one of the technologies. Also, dehydration, like people living in America and US, they would understand. Their mother cooks the food, okay, makes chola and paneer. Okay, the mama goes to the dehydrator, dehydrates the homemade food, and send it to US, and they, just put it in warm water and have mama's food in US or abroad, wherever they are, right? That's technology which is already shaping up our food future, right? Because we don't have time to make food every day, correct? Okay, what next is the future? Did we ever think that our food will be made in laboratories, in the labs, and not in the kitchens? Have you ever thought about this? But there is research. People have already started making food in the lab, right? The meat industry, too cruel. We kill so many animals. They are bred in a very, very bad way. They are injected with hormones, and that is eventually affecting us humans too, right? Having non-veg, having meat which is hormonally injected, okay, not good for us. That is why we are heading towards cancer and all that. So that's why now they've started growing lab-grown meat, right? Which is a replacement for actual meat. The protein content is the same, the texture is the same, the taste is the same, right? What an innovation, correct? Isn't it? What else is made? You get 3D printed food on your plate. Obviously, you can get these in China and Japan, not yet in India, but I'm sure in India it's going to be very soon, where I think of a design of a cake, pastry, which I want to, and zoop, 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 and that edible cake is printed right in front of me, beautifully printed, and I'm just devouring that cake of my favorite flavor. That's going to happen very soon, okay? So yeah, 3D printed food. What about vertical farming? As and when the population is increasing, the fertile land is decreasing, right? We don't have enough land, fertile land, to grow so much food. So now very progressive countries are leading to vertical farming. You know what is vertical farming, like? Farming in buildings, and we go vertical. And how they are grown? Not with the soil, with hydroponic technology, and not with sunlight, with LED lights, right? For growing crops you need sunlight, but now they are using LED lights and hydroponic water, simple water, to grow so many things, and also that too in buildings, which can supply to the world. We can supply strawberries to the world even when it is not strawberry season. I can supply mangoes to the world when it is not mango season, okay? That is how we are progressing in our technology, correct? Interesting? Have you all thought about it? Right? And obviously we know molecular gastronomy, like, very famous caviars. Caviars are the most expensive fish. Eggs, they are most prestigious. But yeah, now I can make a caviar with balsamic vinegar, or probably cranberry juice, or even nimbu pani, or even buttermilk. I can make a ball, bursting ball with yogurt, like a burrata cheese. All that is possible with molecular gastronomy. I can make a coriander chutney foam, right? All this, whoever sees MasterChef would have understood that it's now very easy to do all these things. This is where my future of food is taking me. And now, next slide, please. Yes, we did make food in the lab, okay? But now there is also innovation in how we are using the latest apps and other technology to consume food or to promote our food. Like for example, there is already an app, okay, where you just click your photo, the photo of your food, right? And it analyzes your food. What is the nutrition count? What is how much protein will you get? How much carb? And what different forms of nutrition will you get? What are the calories you are consuming from that plate? And voila, you know your calorie count. You know your nutrition. Okay. Now we are not old, like old people who like mindlessly we eat. We know what we eat, and these apps, they help you. And earlier, like even I always used to feed in, okay, I had 100 grams of dal and 50 grams of sabzi and all. But now nothing. Just click, the AI analyzes the whole food portion and everything and the nutrition. Also, probably not in India, but if you go abroad, you get these holographic presentations of the food which you're going to eat, right? So see your food before you eat, right? If it's a beautiful pastry, I can see a holographic presentation of the whole dish, and yes, then I can decide, I can choose what I want to eat, what I would like to eat, right? Also, the technology comes via delivery. Like yes, today we are, before I think 7-8 years there was no Zomato, Swiggy. It was such an innovation, right? I mean, I couldn't imagine getting food delivered to me in 5-10 minutes from any restaurant, right? As a restaurant, I had to have my delivery boys, you know, and delivery systems. So, but now there is Swiggy and Zomato. But in future, there will be drone deliveries by drones. We don't even need human beings, you know, for delivering our food. That is the future. And obviously, social media. We are always tempted to eat food which our friends eat, right? Thanks to social media, we post. The entire COVID season, I think if you all remember, we were just posting foods, the photos of food, what we are making and eating, and you know, it was a hype, big hype, right? And the latest technology over here, which I see in future, is the packaging in which these foods are packed and delivered. That packaging is very, very important. Earlier, they used so much plastic, right? There was an accumulation of plastic leading to global warming and all the hazardous things which I don't need to mention really. But now they are getting into edible packaging, okay? And corn packaging, packaging which is made of corn, packaging which is made of bamboo, and all those things which can be decomposed and reused, right? So yes, we are heading towards sustainability and you know, preserving our nature. That's where our future is taking us for food, right? Are you all with me till now? Okay. So next, what I see in future is different people from different countries come together, enjoying this I'm talking about your generation, okay? I see all here, okay? Making food together, because there'll be no mamas making you serving food. You have to make your own food, come together, bring your cultures together, enjoy, you know, these beautiful times with different cultures and food coming together. Okay, this is the future of our food industry, right? Next, please. And this is the real future, okay? This is my last slide, and I want you all to be inspired to be food entrepreneurs, or I may say foodpreneurs, okay? I am a foodpreneur since many years, and I have only seen growth, 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 right? Because how many times do you all eat in a day? 3 times, 4 times. Can you do without it? Cannot do without it. Food is the most essential part of our lives, okay? And food can never go wrong. You can be in this industry, get into food line, get into an entrepreneurship of food, okay? And you cannot go wrong if you are good enough. Yes, yes, you can't go wrong, okay? And what are the I want you all to leave with this inspiration that you all can do one of these things, okay? If you choose to be a foodpreneur, you can have a food tech startup like Swiggy, Zomato, or any advanced version of the food tech, right? Also, you can have a restaurant with immersive dining. Like nowadays, there are some exceptional restaurants where on your plate there are projections. The characters are dancing. The food is coming from somewhere, and there is some lighting coming from here, and it's like a 3D, extravaganza show. Okay, go for it. Make a restaurant like that, which is so imaginative. Get into food education. Okay, nutrition. Yeah. Make an app for nutrition, so many other things. Make a shared cloud kitchen. There are so many cloud kitchens. Like even I have a cloud kitchen. I have just launched 2 food trucks in Pune. Okay, just last Friday. Okay, and I have a big issue of where to put up my cloud kitchen. Okay, so I wish I had this concept of shared cloud kitchen where all my equipments are ready. I just go there, take my chefs, go with me, and make the food and supply the food, right? But I have to set up, I have to put up the systems. So this is also one possibility of making shared cloud kitchens, right? And obviously make a have a business of innovative displays, like I mentioned, the holographic displays, right? And also you can have something to do with social media and digital platform regarding food. Okay, have a app where you can display your food or create your food. I mean, it's totally your imagination, and the list is endless. Okay, whoever wishes to be a foodpreneur, please take inspiration from this. Okay, food is something which will never go out of our lives. We can't live without it. Okay, the future is endless. The possibilities in the future is endless. And if you have any ideas, please come to me. I would be more than happy to help you. Yes? Yeah? So, my conclusion, food is a kaleidoscope of opportunities. There are unlimited things you can do, in food. So yeah, all the best. It's a continuous evolution, and have a vision. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shah, for that wonderful talk. It was truly inspiring and made us realize that food is not just about sustenance, but also about creativity, passion, and balance.
I think we're all quite hungry now, so no funny script this time.
We know we remain the best part of today.
Humility, brother. The teachers are watching. You need that letter of recommendation, don't you?
Anyways, our next speaker, the second best host in the school, loved by all, our teacher speaker of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the IAYP coordinator and English teacher at our school.
Please put your hands together for Mr. Zulfikar Hussain.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I am usually the one doing introductions. I'm calling on the next act, inviting the next speaker. But today I was graciously offered a spot on the panel, that too of TEDx. And as inspiring and powerful this platform is, it is extremely intimidating. So yes, Riddhi, I also cried a little bit before I came on stage today. Well, let me begin. Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who are watching this online live. And maybe in the future, if you're there in the future, I hope I have a YouTube channel by then, so please subscribe. Well, for the last 10 seconds, my presentation began, and a few of y'all were looking at me while most of y'all were staring at that black dot on the white sheet and wondering, what is that? Well, this is something that psychology uses to teach negative bias, pessimistic views, and also how our brain is programmed to look at just that black dot rather than the immense area that the white sheet takes. All of our focus is on that white dot. That is how we perceive our realities, in black or white, yes or no, true or untrue. But today our theme is kaleidoscope realities, and I'm going to build on that. So we'll come back to the dot in some time. Let's begin with who I am. Well, after 3,653 days of me rolling up my sleeves, walking into classrooms, doing lesson plans, grading papers, and having innumerable conversations with students that range from linguistics all the way to, "Sir, my stomach is paining." I am a culmination of all of that. I am a culmination of all of that. I come from one of the most loved, yet one of the most hated professions in the world. As teachers, we have the power to build. We have the power to motivate. We have the power to inspire the next generation. But we also have a fortunate place to misstep, misunderstand, and scar a student for life. So that brings me to what I would like to talk about today. A concept that I think of, and I call it a kaleidoscopic teacher. Before I move on to what a kaleidoscopic teacher is, I would like to begin by explaining what is a kaleidoscope. 7 speakers before me mentioned a kaleidoscope. Everybody in the audience agreed to it. Yes, a kaleidoscope is this, a kaleidoscope is that. But I know as an educator, more than half of y'all still have no clue what is a kaleidoscope. So as I plan my lessons, this, boys and girls, is a kaleidoscope. This is what it looks like. It has a handle on one end, which when you turn, it creates the images that you see on top. As teachers, we are like kaleidoscopes. When we look at a child, we stare into their souls and we tell ourselves, I am going to take all in my ability to help this child and make sure that this person grows. And the child looks back at this teacher and just thinks, why is this man weirdly staring at me? That is a kaleidoscope, boys and girls, a constant dance of perspectives. What does it mean to be a kaleidoscopic teacher? We play a variety of roles in our day-to-day lives as teachers. For a long time in my tenure, I thought I could control everything. I could control my lesson plans, I could control my students, I could control the outcomes, the grades, everything and everything. I thought I could control them. And then I realized that the art of teaching is actually embracing the unexpected. Because every day I walk into a class, it is not the same. No 2 days in a classroom is the same. No 2 days a student is the same. Every day is different. Well, out of all the many roles that we play, some days we walk into classrooms as healthcare workers, some days we walk into classrooms as counselors, some days as someone who is a mentor, some days as a sports teacher, some days as something or the other. But most of all, I think our students require a friend that can listen, a friend that can lend a ear. And if you truly listen to your students, trust me, all you are going to do is create a mirage of colors through their unique perspectives. That is the kind of role that we play in the lives of our students. Now we all know that teachers, yes, we do so many things. What's the future? Where do we go next? Well, as we in our day-to-day lives now are encountering ChatGPT and AI, and some of y'all are thinking, why do we even come to schools? Why do we need a teacher to tell us this? I can just ask Gemini or Alexa right from my bed. Why do I need to come to class? Well, yes, AI can definitely help you solve mammoth tasks in a few minutes. But you still require a teacher to assign that task to you. You require a teacher to tell you exactly what to do. And then you can ask ChatGPT or AI to actually do it for you. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, we were doing online sessions. And I had a student attending all the way from Iraq. Now, during those sessions, I used to engage discussions and different activities. The moment I would come to this said student and ask him to present, he would just freeze on screen. Like he would just freeze. Now AI, after a certain point of time, after collecting data of that many classes, would then say it's a technical glitch. But the teacher in me saw beyond, because while he was frozen, the fan in the background was still on. And then I would tell him, I can see the fan moving. And then I could see his hand slightly going towards the wires and then unplugging himself from the system. So ChatGPT, really? AI, really? Well, the future is not for the knowledge hoarders. It's for creators. And that's what we as teachers do. We inspire you to create. That is how we create our kaleidoscopes together. We inspire you enough to walk into the world as a mirage of colors, rather than just looking at it black or white. I came across this extremely interesting saying by someone who was considered very, very intelligent, George Bernard Shaw. In his play Man and Superman, he said, "He who can, does, and he who cannot, teaches." Means all those who could not do it then thought, let's teach it. And at some point of time, every student in this class, in this hall, apologies, entering classrooms for that long, in this hall must have thought, could he do it? Could she do it? She's asking us to do it. Could she do it? It's true. As human beings, yes, a science teacher would love to be published in a science journal. An English teacher would love to be an author. A sports teacher would love to be on the track where fans are screaming his name. And a musician would love to be someone famous. But that's what keeps us apart. As teachers, we don't look at these individual glories. We would not stand alone on the podium. We would rather take an entire generation with us, so that tomorrow, it's not me who wins, it's us who wins. That is what a kaleidoscopic teacher is. That is what your teachers are. So yes, I come back to the dot on the white screen. This is how you perceive realities. But as teachers, we instill love, we instill kindness, we instill thoughts, empathy. We give you choices, we give you interpretations, we help you and hold your hand every single day that you come into our classrooms, so that this reality turns into a myriad of colors. Thank you for being a part of my kaleidoscope. This is Mohammad Zulfikar Hussain signing out.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful talk. Your perspective on a kaleidoscope teacher is a reminder that our teachers are the ones who shape us, the students. And with that, we officially bring the first ever TEDx Podar ORT International School Youth to a close. What a ride it's been.
A huge thank you to all our incredible speakers. You've inspired and educated all present.
Seriously, thank you for carrying the event, because clearly the jokes weren't.
And of course, thank you to the audience for sitting through our questionable humor.
On that note, thank you for making this event such a success.
You were honored to have us, and if you liked what we did, you can hire us for more events at 3handsomemen.com. Thank you, everybody.
Until then, take care and stay inspired.
Hello. Well, they deserve a louder round of applause, guys. Come on. The last time Anshul and Rishit hosted with us was the annual day, and I kept telling them, guys, you'll have to land those jokes. You'll have to land those jokes. And today they actually landed. So great job, guys. And thank you so much. I would now like to invite our head of school to say a few words and then hand over our mementos to the speakers. So.
Good morning. I'm just seeing the time. It's indeed a pleasure to have had this TEDx initiative done by the students. And you know, when you give responsibility to students, they never let you down. Because that's the way things happen. That's the way the kaleidoscope comes together and creates a design which is of the body, mind and soul, and may I say the spirit. And what I did see here was the spirit in which we had guest speakers who came and spoke, we had parents, we had students, and finally a teacher from our community. Thank you grade 11 and our wonderful hosts to have done what they did, and I think this would continue to inspire us, and as and when you do these things, come together with the idea, as we say to our put our tagline as, create the difference. Create the difference in you, create the difference in your, not just in your mindset, but in the world in which you walk. And as one of the speakers said, you know what, it does make a difference to that one starfish, you see. It does make a difference. And I think that's what I would ask you to hold in your mind and act on it. Thank you very much.
So let us bring back firstly Mr. Surender Jatot. A big round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. You can see this young man, and all what you can do doesn't lie in your age. It lies in your wisdom to act. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Miss Vasundhara Kaul.
thank you, Dr. Kaul, for adding flavor to this session. It was really, really inspiring. Thank you so much.
Next, calling upon the Chicago essay, fourth member of the Big Three, Nayantara Roy.
Thank you, Nayantara. That being your perhaps the last thing you're doing here. Thank you. We are proud of you. Thanks.
Next, as Rishad rightfully said, Bandra boy, all the way from Boston University, Aman Ladak.
Thank you, Aman, and our deep appreciation for inspiring the youth. Probably Generation Alpha, I believe, right?
Next up, we have Ms. Trusha Shah.
Thank you, Trusha. I was very enlightened by the food aspect. I'm sure we all will look at food so differently. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the contribution you're making here. We are indeed indebted.
Sir, thank you for this opportunity and bring the confidence out of of me, and it's totally you. Thank you so much. Of thinking.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
And now,
the greatest of all time,
Muhammad
Zulfikar Hussain.
Yeah, thank you, Zulfi. He was actually also helping in the organization part. And as we were going through back and forth with speakers and all that, and then finally I said we needed so many, and I said, you're going to speak. So he said, looked at me and said, okay, fine. Thank you for speaking on behalf of a community. And I will use my usual line, that's more blessed to give than to receive. The day you do that, the universe is with you. Thank you so much.
There isn't an award for us. The budget was a bit tight this time. But from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being an amazing audience. And we'll see you. No, we'll not see you next year. The other hosts will see you next year. Thank you, everybody.
Remember, please hire us at 3handsomemen.com. We have to make rent.